Good afternoon. My name is Jason Dunn, Chief Executive Officer of the National Coalition of Black Community Professionals, and we are here at IMEX celebrating our members whom are talking about their profiles of resilience, meaning that they've been through a lot of stuff, but nevertheless they are still here. They are many times the first and oftentimes the best. And so what ways to celebrate them to tell their story. And hopefully what you hear today will empower you not only to lead your life better, but also to instill that in the many other folks around you. Our next guest is not only a sponsor of this particular speaker series, but also a member of the organization, and we are a client of his. So we do business with our friends. Make sure we introduce Ricardo Hicks, who's the president and CEO of Tech Factory. My man.
Thank you.
What's happening, bro? You good?
Man, I'm great. I'm doing great.
So let's talk, man. Let's talk. How did you get into the industry? How did you get into the industry? Let's start there.
So I fell into it kind of by accident. I started in hospitality in college. I went to North Carolina A&T in Greensboro.
Oh, okay. My brother's an assistant basketball coach there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
What's
Okay.
up? Okay. All right.
And I was working as a night auditor.
Okay.
So you know how that is.
Yes, indeed.
The late night hour.
Yes.
Barely making it to class.
Yes.
But that's how I got into hospitality first and foremost.
Okay.
Right. It wasn't until about 6 years, fast forward 6 or 7 years later, after I had a stint in working in the recording studio. So I did a lot of gospel records at a pretty major recording studio in North Carolina.
You produced them or you sung?
No. I was just a recording engineer.
You
I was on the tech
you
side.
got a little Harold Melvin and Blue Nose type situation going on right now. But go ahead.
So no, I was on the tech side. So
Okay,
I was
okay.
recording and mixing
Okay.
and those things, right? Fast forward, I moved to Atlanta. I was going through my uncle's Rolodex. See, we're both old enough to remember what a Rolodex
Understood.
was, right?
Understood. Yes, indeed. Yes,
So I was going
indeed.
through his Rolodex, and I noticed something that said presentation services audiovisual, right? I said, audiovisual. So I have hospitality, I have audio, they're in hotels. I called them up. And I said, hey, I don't know if you would have a need for somebody that has a degree in electronic music and some hospitality experience. They said, oh, do you have a suit and a car? My suits were in North Carolina at the time.
Okay.
And my car was in North Carolina. I was just fresh.
Okay.
Just got to Atlanta in a week.
Okay.
I went, that was a Friday. I flew, or maybe a Thursday. I flew back home to get my car and my suit to show up Sunday night, to show up in the office on Monday with that, for that job opportunity. And they hired me on the spot.
Wow.
And that was around 2006.
And your first role was what again? What was your first role?
Audiovisual technician.
Okay. So what is that? I don't know. I mean.
So basically I'm just coming into hotels and setting up the sound, setting up the microphones, the projectors, the screens, the switchers, all the things to get ready for conferences.
So where'd you learn that at, though? I mean, in school? I mean, because you were...
So I had the tech training. So I got trained on the job. Interesting story. Got trained on the job. And I got trained by a young black man at the time who really was a really good trainer. He trained me for 7 months before he left the job. He told me he was training me to be the audiovisual director of that hotel.
Legacy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was unheard of in that time for somebody to go straight from being an AV technician. It's a pathway. There's a gateway, and you're supposed to, do that in like 4 years, 5 years.
You pay your dues. Yeah.
Here comes this guy, 7 months. He did it. He told me to make relationships with the GM of the hotel because he's the decision maker when I leave. That's what I did. I made the relationship with the GM. And when it was time for him to go, they posted the position. My regional director comes in, and he's like, hey, we're going to post this position. I'm laughing on the inside because I already know what's happening. Went downstairs to talk to the GM. 10 minutes after talking to me, after he's gone, the GM called me to his office. He said, hey, forget what he said. You're my guy. I told him, don't even worry about posting that position.
My man.
And I became the AV director of that hotel in
Wow.
Sheridan Buckhead in Atlanta. So it was on-the-job training, but I already had technical acumen coming in. But I had a phenomenal trainer, and a guy that was motivated to train the next person for that seat.
So you were ready because you were proper schooling.
Yes.
Yep. You were ready because you were in the room and ready when the opportunity came present itself.
Yes.
You were ready because someone knew that it was their time and they wanted to pass the baton on to you.
Yes.
And you were qualified.
Yes.
You got the opportunity.
Yes.
That's
and
what
even
started.
the schooling is good, but it's really just having the mind to study the craft.
All school that is you're trainable. That's all that is.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, understood.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, so let's jump. So we go from A&T, getting a job offer. You went to Atlanta. Your suit was in North
Carolina.
Greensboro.
Yeah.
And your car was at Greensboro.
Yeah.
So then you got to offer the job. You got a suit and a car. You said yes. You went and got it. What was that stress like?
Oh man, it was crazy. I had no money. I had to use my aunt's buddy pass. She was a flight attendant.
Buddy pass.
And I had to pay her
a long
back.
time.
Yeah.
Buddy pass.
Oh yeah. See?
Wow.
And that's dating us, right? That's dating us. And I had to pay her back over time.
I bet. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
She kept a handwritten ledger.
That's good. Hold you accountable. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
It's exactly the way it works.
All right. So you made it happen.
Yes.
You took the effort.
Yes.
You took the opportunity. You persevered.
Yeah.
All right. You got to director of AV at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Now what?
Then all of a sudden, I moved to Atlanta to marry my wife. My wife now.
See, brothers, he's sipping over that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So how'd you meet your wife?
I met my wife from a mutual friend. I was looking.
You were looking.
Yeah, I was looking. I was in Greensboro.
I heard North Carolina. I ain't tell you. I heard there's some.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she knew my wife, and she knew me, and she thought we'd be a good fit, and she was right. And she was right 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah. So I moved to Atlanta. I spent a short stint in 6 months, in California.
So wait. We skipped something. So she was with you when you ain't had no money.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
No, that's a whole nother. We don't even have time.
Wait. You ain't had no money. Buddy pass to go.
Oh, yeah.
To go get your suit.
Oh yeah.
And your car. You drove back. You got the first job out of school.
Yes.
She's still with you.
Yeah. So
That's what I'm
I was
talking
probably 4 years removed from school at this point, right?
Sure. Okay.
But I got the job. I was excited. But even then, she was making 3 times what I was making. She was
Wow.
already the 6th.
So she knew you were right.
Yeah, I have to remind her sometimes. It's like, you gamble right.
Yeah. I expect the same situation. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, no,
I thought I was the only one, but that's what's
she
up.
was making triple
sure.
what I was making.
Okay.
But but
she believed in you. She saw it.
She saw it.
You got a good
really
one,
did.
bro. You got a good one.
Absolutely.
You got a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So you got married.
Yep.
You chased your wife to Atlanta.
Atlanta. Mm-hmm.
And you caught her.
Yep.
Loved on her.
Yep.
Married her.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Now what's next?
So I decided, again, my wife's making a whole lot more money than me. I said, listen, I think God is leading me. It's time to go to North Carolina. Back home. Well, I'm going to make this short. We just went ahead and left jobs and everything behind and just moved to North Carolina. Career sabotage for both of us. Neither one of us had jobs.
That is a pattern I keep hearing from everybody
Bought
that
a
I've
house,
spoken with, man.
Jumped.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting to
Is
talk
that
about
faith?
this part of it.
Is that faith
100%
or is
faith.
that just
100% faith.
you losing your mind?
It depends on where your starting point is.
I
My starting point,
I got you.
100% faith.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sure.
So yes, 100% faith, and I just abandoned everything, and I said, I promise you, And again, mind you, she was making 6 figures.
Yeah.
It's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was making like a third of that.
Yeah.
And it took 8 or 9 years to really see the promise of what was gonna, how it was gonna unfold. So anyway, I ended up moving back to North Carolina, freelancing for a couple of years, and took a full-time job again with PSAV as a director of a hotel. Found out what the AV market looked like in North Carolina, which is nothing like Atlanta. Atlanta is a land flowing with milk and honey as far as opportunity.
Land of Oz. I understand.
Right?
I got it. I understand.
So North Carolina, it didn't really exist. So I found my pocket there.
Sure.
And then lo and behold, after about 6 or 7 years at the hotel, I fought a lot of resistance in that hotel because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I'm in that hotel, and it's not a whole lot of black managers in these 4 and 5 star hotels, right? So I had a whole lot of swag with me because I was confident.
I understand.
We had the highest customer service scores in the hotel.
Yeah.
I had a team of people working for me, and I knew that I was good at what I was doing. But and I wasn't gonna hold back on that, right? Because I take pride in the craft, right? So when it was time to renew that they didn't renew the contract with PSAV, and they wanted to go in-house and provide their own AV and hire somebody. They actually hired my assistant manager. Great guy, happens to be white, but I'm telling this because when he applied, I didn't apply for the job. A certain amount of pride wouldn't allow me to apply for it. If I'm being honest. Didn't apply for it. My wife was pregnant at the time. And he went into the meeting and actually said, hey, Rick, I'm going to tell you this. When I got into the meeting, when I applied for the job, the first thing that the director of catering said is, let's talk about Ricardo. And he was taken aback. And he said, I don't know what you mean. I've been in this industry 10 years, and this is the best manager I've ever had. So he was telling me because he knew it was some implications there, right? And I appreciated it because a lot of times you don't get those stories told back to you.
Right.
So I knew I made the right move, right? So lowered my hole. I'm crying. You know, my wife said, "Hold it together. It's gonna work out." She was pregnant, and I ended up making a phone call to one of those companies I freelance with. I said, "Do you have any positions?" And he said, "Lo and behold, you wouldn't believe this. We have the owner of the company said we need to hire an outside sales manager. Do you think you could do sales?" I lied through my teeth and said yes, because I needed the job. And I took the job, prayed a whole lot. No training on how to sell, what outside sales mean. I didn't know the difference between outside sales and inside sales. Probably took me 3 or 4 years before I understood the difference. But do you know, in 2 years, I tripled the gross revenue of that office. In 3 years. Doubled it the first year. Tripled it in year 2. So mind you, I had the technical acumen, got the management training. 10 years. I freelanced, had an opportunity to freelance when I moved back because I had not done that yet. I skipped freelance and went straight to full time. Moved to North Carolina, got an opportunity to understand what freelancing was about. So I put it together. And then after probably about a period of 5-6 years, I got tired of the culture, and lack of accountability, right? And so I'll stop right there because I don't want to jump ahead of your questions.
No, bro, you got we flowing. Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Keep flowing.
So I got tired of that. I was making good money, but all along the way I was always training, and training technicians. In my church, I'll say right now to this day, from the church, I was also working in audio in my church. I was audio supervisor at a pretty big church, and over the last 18 years, I've always taken guys like, "Hey, I'll see what you're doing. Do you want a career opportunity?" It's 15 people from one church that I brought into the industry that work in it full time. They either work for me full time or work for other companies. It's about 15 now. And I started doing that early, like when I was in management, before I got into sales and everything. But I finally said, you know what? I'm tired of the lack of accountability, tired of the lack of training. I don't like the culture. I can do this myself. Let me jump out. And everything was laying right there for me. I had relationships with my competitors. I said, listen, I'm about to jump out. Can I rent equipment from you? If I start, and they were like, oh, perfect. And that's what I did. I started with $0 investment. All my clients except one. I told you I tripled the gross revenue of this company. All of my clients left with me except one. And I didn't even really have to ask them to leave. I just said, this is where I'm going. And this is what I'm doing. And every last one of them left with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we go from A&T. You leave and go to Atlanta chasing your wife. You got a phone call. You have a suit in the car. You lose a buddy pass to go back to North Carolina.
Yep.
To come back to Atlanta to get you a job. One of the OGs was in the room and said, hey, I want to pass this along to you.
Absolutely.
And he trained you. You were ready. You said yes and kept moving.
Yep.
You then went on to another position. You were asked to take the job. You took it.
Yep.
You were ready.
Yep.
You doubled you doubled or tripled.
I doubled it the first year.
Doubled the first year.
Tripled it by year
there you go.
2.
Because you were ready. Right? You were prepared and ready. Right.
I wasn't ready for sales, but I was doing something. I was praying.
We ain't got there yet.
All right.
So you were ready.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, your name is being spoken in rooms that you ain't even in.
Yeah.
Because of your work acumen.
Absolutely.
Right? And your accountability.
Absolutely.
Then they said, what about Ricardo? And they came to you and you go, what? You were ready.
Ready.
You were prepared.
Yeah.
So you went and said, I can do it. My confidence is there, so I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
And so now you look around and you can choose to be in an environment that you wouldn't even choose because you know your worth, your value, and your confidence of your skill set.
Absolutely.
And then you said, I see a gap.
Absolutely.
Then you went around to your church and other folks and you hired folks or trained them to do what you're doing just as good as you are to hold them accountable, and you start your own stuff.
Absolutely.
Man, come on now.
Absolutely. That's the story in a nutshell.
Come on, man. So how many other black AV companies are working at this scale that you are at?
I've been trying to get a survey. It's a fair amount.
Okay.
I say it's probably about a good 10. But I've been trying to survey to see how many, have full-time staff, how much full-time staff and whatnot, because that's a lot of what we run up against. Even, it's great. But then you have those companies that are looking at you and it's like, okay, how big of an event can you handle?
Yeah.
How big is your staff?
So that's interesting. Even even outside of your company, they look at us all that way.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for this platform? We've been doing this stuff when we was kids. I mean, I know folks at our church who are doing AV stuff now,
Absolutely.
who are probably more astute than half the folks who have been trained
Yeah.
by other folks who are our age, right?
Yeah.
And so, going through that process of always having to show and prove.
Yes.
How does that? Let's try that mental process and how you showed up.
That's a great question because
I appreciate that. This is my show.
It's a great question because honestly, I feed off of it.
Yeah, I get it.
I feed off of it.
Yeah,
I like
get
it.
My man.
Back me into the corner.
Yep.
Say what you want to say.
Yeah,
but I promise you're gonna see it in a couple of years. And I train my team that way too. I call it like having humility and confidence. It's all right to be confident, but humble enough to be able to ask questions. And of somebody that they have a skill set you don't have, ask the questions. Be humble enough to ask, but walk in that confidence as well, and don't cower in that. Right?
Yeah.
So I train my team very much that way. So when we walk in rooms, a lot of times, if a client is freaking out, my team's not freaking out. They're like, okay, we're just gonna solve the problem. And they're gonna move fast to solve the problem. And I teach them that way because it's like, you freak out, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to help. It's not going to help the situation. Just go knock it out and get it done.
So on the personal level, though, how does that show up in your personal space?
Yeah.
Always having to prove yourself and switch that dog out to come out. What does that do to you as a husband, as a family? What does that do for you?
Oh,
when
I'm always on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it drives my wife crazy. She's my managing director now, right? And managing director, like, so I'll say this humbly, I started in, 2018, the year before the pandemic. I had one full year, 2019, and I knew I was going to wait until I got to 5 full-time employees before I took her from project management at AT&T to be working with me, right?
Wow.
And I brought her on 3 years ago. And we have 15 full-time employees, another 10 part-time. We're 25 deep now at this point, and this is our 6th year.
Wow.
But the point is like sometimes, like the negative side, she has to tell me to turn. We work great together.
Yeah.
Things she do well, I'm not great at.
That's fair.
And I let her.
Team.
I let her have
it's
it.
a team,
right?
It's a team.
And we have healthy banter in the workplace.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
But yeah, she tells me, you have to stop talking about work now.
Yeah.
You have to stop talking about taking
that
over
means she
the
really
industry.
care about you, bro.
Oh no,
Real
she
talk.
does.
Yeah, that's
she
what's
does.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
So I listen.
Yeah. Okay. That's
But
the first key point. You listen.
But then I go and try to find somebody else that'll listen to my banter.
Understood.
So I know to turn it off with her.
Understood.
But I try to find another avenue.
So if you can see yourself in 5 years, where do you want to be and what scale do you want to be at?
In 5 years, I like to say that I tell my team this. I really make my boast in the people that I train and develop. Right? Not so much in what I do. Like I'm into the point now in the last couple of years where I don't even want clients to know that I'm doing things in the background. I want to empower my team because honestly, I'm looking at the next generation. Like I have a good 15 to 20 years, and I'm going to go hard this 15 to 20 years. And then when I'm done, the surprise is going to be, oh yeah, well, Ricardo's done. This bulldog is out the way.
He's gone.
They don't know that I got 5-6 people right now that I know are going to be here.
You got troops lined up.
Deep.
I love it.
And I'm investigating. 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and I can see, man, and I'm identifying them young.
Wow. So it's full circle. Someone gave you the opportunity to open the door for somebody else, and then you're setting up the legacy moving forward.
So honestly, what I see, and I'm already having those conversations with young people as young as 23 in the company. I want 4 or 5 people to take this company and take it to the next level. I've done a lot, and I have a lot more to do. But I know to take it where it needs to go, that I need 5 dogs like me that are specialists in certain areas. Like, so I need a sales dog, I need the CEO, I need the technician, the project management. That's my wife's territory, right?
Sure.
So I'm not claiming that territory.
I understand.
But she's great in that area and relentless.
Yeah.
She worked from home, like I said, for 15 years. That's how I knew that when I hired her, that it was going to work because I watched her work ethic at home for 15 years.
That's what's up.
And I have to tell her to slow down too.
Right, I get
I
it.
pull her coattails like, you're doing too much. So that's what I see. That's the long game for me.
Yeah. So what I hear from your story is take risk, Be prepared when the opportunity presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
Always show up and show out. Hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
And you have no problem pushing the envelope. I mean, that's and loyalty is a must. That's what because no one's going to trust you to teach them if they're not loyal to you,
Right.
and vice versa.
Right.
And so I think that's dope, man.
Yeah.
Let's give it for Ricardo Hicks. Let's give him some love.
I appreciate that.
Where can people find you? How can they support you?
So you can find me. You can go to Tech Factory Productions with an S.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Ricardo Hicks Jr. Tech Factory. You can find us. And like I said, we're in North Carolina with 35% travel, 65% travel. So 35% of what we do is local. The other 65% is anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
And so labor love. I'm gonna tell you this last thing.
Oh, okay.
Full circle moment. Remember the guy I told you to train me?
Yes.
He's a freelancer now. He lives in Vegas.
Wow.
And this is the first year. He's rocked with us for probably about 10 or 11 events this year. And it was a great opportunity for me to bring him around full circle.
Wow.
And show the work ethic, the respect for the craft to the young people that I'm training.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful moment for me to be able to hire him. And he's booked for 3 or 4 other events the rest of the year.
Man, that's cool.
And so he's now a partner in the business.
Wow.
As far as being a trainer, and
dope,
a developer
man. That's dope,
for the business today.
Man, we're proud of you, bro. Real talk, man.
I appreciate that.
Real talk, man. Real
I appreciate
talk.
that.
Again, Jason Dunn, CEO of the National Coalition of Black Media Professionals, here with Ricardo Hicks, CEO and President of Tech Factory. We thank him. We thank his work. We see your work, bro. Thank you for giving back and investing and making sure that we stand on your shoulders as the next generation that leads your company. If you are not a member of NCBMP, please go to NCBMP.com. NCBMP.com. There is in the left-hand corner, it says join us. Y'all see it? I see it. Join us. You see it?
I like it.
You see it?
I see it.
Join
yes, sir.
us.
Yes, sir. It's right there.
And there's dual membership with MPI, dual membership with ASAE, and dual membership with PCMA. So you can write one check and join all of them, or write one check just to us. But bottom line is we want you to be with us. Number 2,
Yes, sir.
come to our conference, November 13th to the 16th in Birmingham, Alabama, at the Sheraton Marriott Hotel. To register, go to ncbmp.com, ncbmp.com. Did I say it again? ncbmp.com.
Yes, sir.
We want you to be with us. We do business with our friends. So if you ain't our friend, then we can't do business with you. Sure enough, thank you once again for coming. See you next year. Bye-bye.
Awesome.